Hey crafters, welcome to Sculpting Sunday. Today we're going to sculpt Squidward from SpongeBob. As a kid, obviously I identified more with SpongeBob, but as I grew up, I definitely identified more as Squidward, and that's kind of how the series was initially intended. But I do hope that you guys are going to enjoy this video, and if you do, let me know in the comments, and also don't forget to hit that like button. So for Squidward, I think we're going to start out with a... I suppose I could do the boat, but I think that's going to make it more complicated for me. I'm just going to do a basic little sandy beach type thing. Well, I know Squidward's not really a beach person. Could also do him laying down in his chair, but I think I just kind of want to do it, keep it simple for him today. Maybe I'll do something a little bit more complicated in the future if I want. But that's kind of the general thoughts. Smooth this out, and it didn't get any water. So that is going to be the platform. Very simple, nothing complicated. And then we are going to do a body, and I think we're doing about this size. Because Squidward is a lengthy boy, and it's a lot of legs, obviously, too. And then I think I'm going to sculpt the legs together just to make it simpler, and then just shape them later. Because I think it's going to be harder if I try to make all 4 legs separately. Definitely a little bit harder. He's got the general look like an X, because he's a squid. He's got the 4 legs and 2 arms. Kind of something like that is what I'm thinking. It seems about right. And obviously he's got a longer neck. So yeah, that seems about right. For the head, he's got that big head going on and a big nose. This is going to be the mouth. I feel like that's the right size for him, something like that. Yeah, I think that works. And that big nose. Yeah. Just thinking about Squidward and some of the things that he's been through because of SpongeBob is very interesting. And then I want to give him his hat, his Krusty Krab hat. So that's going to be this. Something like that. Kind of hitting it just right. Arms. Well, tentacles. Trying to match the arm size. That's always the difficult part with these kind of sculptures is matching size. It's about the right amount of clay per arm. But now they're sticking together. So the general idea, let's see, is like that. At least it doesn't have any hands. And I think one of the arms is slightly bigger than the other. Okay, I think we got the general here. First things first is we do need to put his legs together. And these do need to be a little bit longer. So we're doing this and getting the shape in. There we are. Looks like some kind of weird alien arm. For this, we are going to use a full toothpick to go all the way up. And then a little bit of water on the base here. The reason why we are using a full toothpick is to blend it in with the body as well, because we're going to separate all of his legs. Trying to blend it together. I could have made the episode where the Squidward from the episode where he eats Krabby Patties and it goes straight to his thighs. That was an episode. He's like trying to hide the fact that he likes Krabby Patties from SpongeBob. If these thighs were a little bit bigger, he could have done that. And the hardest part about filming the way I'm doing it is I actually have 2 cameras here, one for shorts and one for the long format. So it's a little bit difficult to always match things. So I'm hoping that you guys can see everything that I'm doing. So we need to twist up his legs, his feet. They got that hook-ish shape. Great thing about air dry clay is you can always fix any errors. Just a matter of smoothing things out. Now the one thing that's going to be difficult for this is I'm going to try to put him in a shirt here, or make it look like he's wearing a shirt, but his legs do connect to his body. Another reason why I obviously identify with him is he's an artist trying to make his artwork, and obviously he's not a great clarinet player, but he wants to try at least. And sometimes it's a little bit hard to get things right. Sometimes, even if you really enjoy something, you may not be best at it, but the key is you are trying to be good at something and enjoy something that you like, which is what everyone should do. Find something that you like and just have fun with it. That is the key, I feel like. But we are talking about Squidward, who doesn't like his job and is always trying to just be himself, but really can't. Now, I do want to add a toothpick. I do kind of want to give him a neck too. And I can add a collar. I do kind of want the stick to stick out a little bit because we can add the head. So this is just kind of the general. And I know he's got like a larger part at the top of the neck than the bottom. So I'm going to try to do that. Looks a little weird at this point, but we're going to roll with it for now. Put a little bit of a collar for his shirt. A little bit less. And right now I think we're probably approaching, I'm at like probably been working on this for like 20 minutes or so. That's going to be his shirt collar. And I think I got it. Now I just need to connect it on the back so it actually looks like he's wearing a shirt and not just like whatever's going on here. Blending and blending and blending. Should call me Blender. That is probably the dumbest joke that I've made. Probably the dumbest joke anyway. I don't know. I think that looks close enough. The alternative here, and I'm going to use these because they're actually a little bit better at cutting this. First, before we do that, I know about how much I need. There we are. And about this, we need this to connect like this. And I do need my pliers, my needle nose too. I need it to bend more inwards. So it's like a hook because this is going to go like that. Like that. And that should be about right. Kind of came out a little bit there. And then we'll have to do like a bit around the shirt as well. There was a whole episode about them not like staying away from the hook with the bait on it. That's what it just reminded me of. Just a little bit of water on here. Blend it in. And he does wear t-shirts. But it's going to be a little bit difficult for me to get that on this. I don't know if I'm going to be able to do it. Some of these projects I really don't know before I start them if I actually can finish them. Because a lot of this is firsts for me. This is probably one of the more interesting ones that I have done. And I know I say okay a lot, but I probably cut out a lot of those okays because they're just long in between. Just imagine if I posted a whole video of me just doing this, and there's no no cuts. This video would be an hour and 30 minutes long. Probably about now, my guess would be we are at the 8-minute mark. The 8-minute mark in the video anyway. One kind of came out a little bit weird on the bottom, but I'm just going to roll with it. So we are definitely in the front. That looks alright. For the armbands for his t-shirt, we're just going to do something very simple, like so. Just make a really long bit of clay. That should get us there. And then final blend on this side. Now it's going to look like he's wearing his classic t-shirt work. T-shirt. I'm trying to take more courses on Skillshare, which I'm not sponsored by Skillshare. I don't have any sponsorships yet. Maybe someday. But I am trying to take some courses on Skillshare to learn more about various art forms. Because I have not found mine, what I am best at yet. I just kind of like doing whatever I feel like doing. So we are mostly blended on this side. It has a little bit of a difficult issue with it. The other side turned out much better. Now we have Squidward's head. SpongeBob. I just realized how big his forehead is. Jesus. How big do you need it, Squidward? I just realized out of context that probably doesn't sound great. I'm betting the animators had a lot of fun with his head. That's gonna have to do. He has huge eyes. Just made the eyes real quick. Alright, so here's the part that I'm dreading. Is getting everything else attached. So I need to smooth out the back of the mouth because it's just kind of there. His head does not make any sense. Making a frown for him because, you know, he's Squidward. There we are. Looking like Squidward. Before we get too much further, put the nose on. And this time I'm going to use a grappler. I'm going to start calling these grapplers. Wow, this is actually turning out pretty good, I feel like. Once it dries, anyway. This is probably about the most challenging one that I have made. Now that all that's left is the eyes and a little bit of blending in the hats. So he has big, long eyes, like so. Here we are with the hats. I do need a stick to attach. I do want it to be like one piece. Alright, so we are getting to the final stage. And I hope you are enjoying our fireside chat. And that is a very old reference that like no one is gonna get. Or maybe you will, I don't know. Some of you might be history buffs. Okay, I do not like the look of his hats. Need it to be pointier. I like how the only part of their uniform for the Krusty Krab is the hat. It's actually kind of funny when you think about it. Okay, and then it's got like a weird button thing up top. Alright, I think I like him. One little bit here. This is going to dry very interesting. I just don't need him to fall over. I don't have anything to lean him against, though. I suppose the wall would work. His face kind of went down a little bit, so I do need to pull it up just a hair. Otherwise, he doesn't have a neck. That's the one flaw here. What my current skill ability is, I would say this is actually pretty good. Follow me for next week for Spooktober. And we have a special guest. He'll be a very special guest next week that will surprise you. Although you'll see him in the thumbnail though, so I guess he won't be a surprise. But he may be a surprise for right now though. And it's going to be pretty cool. Maybe even a little bit electrifying. This is as good as I can get him. He's going to have to dry. Alright, so it's been a couple of days. Squidward is dried out. And I just want to start by painting the bottom. And I'm going with a sandy-ish look. I'll just blend it together a few different colors to make this. So I don't know exactly what you would call this. But I'm trying to match like beach sand that you see on the show sometimes. Because I feel like that is the appropriate color to go with. Especially since he likes to sunbathe in front of his house quite a bit. Yeah, definitely will have to make it more. So I'll probably be cutting in a little bit to having a little bit more. And it may or may not even be the correct color because I don't know the exact combination here. Alright, good enough. And it's a little bit of a different color. This one's a little bit brighter. But that'll do fine because mostly that's going to be on the top. And it's just going to be looking more like a mixed bag, as it were. Don't need you notifications. Don't know if you guys heard that, but my computer is trying to notify me. And we just need to do the top two. So I'm probably going to cut out most of the rest of this. And it's going to take about another day for this to dry. And then we can go on to Squidward's main body. Alright, catch you when this dries. Alright, so the base is finished drying out. And now we're going to paint his body. And I'm going with a turquoise, but a little bit more off-white turquoise for his color. Because I feel like that matches him a little bit more. Because he's got that look. And I think I made a little bit way too much when I was making this, but the paint kind of just came out. So and that's how I wound up with so much in my bit here. But it will be more than enough to cover. So that's what we're going for. For now, we're just going to paint on that just so it matches. And we just need to cover up everything and get him looking good for the final process. We do have a little bit of cracking there, but I can correct it. I just need to add a little bit of water, maybe a little bit of glue, and some paints, and it won't be visible and it should be fairly stable. Also just realized I wasn't recording earlier, so I was just kind of talking to myself for a little bit, but that's fine. Essentially just saying I don't know where the shirt was gonna end, so I'm probably gonna paint over a little bit of it later. I'm going extra on everything. He doesn't really have a neck because he kind of got lost through the process, but that is fine. I've never tried anything as ambitious as Squidward before, so this is definitely all new to me, and I'm still learning this process when it comes to air dry clay, that is. I am definitely trying to get better at keeping these mini videos shorter, I know sometimes I put out longer ones, and I'm trying to keep them, at least for the sculpting videos, my goal is to keep them to like 20 minutes or less. But yeah, this one will be coming out after the Rattata one, before a special character returns for the start of Halloween. I do try to plan these videos out weeks in advance, if possible. Sometimes I don't always do a good job, but I do try. I would say for the most part, this one turned out alright. Does have a few flaws and a few things that I do not like. You know, this was more of a test for some new skills. We're pretty much done. Just got his nose, the rest of his face, and probably catch you shortly once I get that done. Next part of the process would just be painting more of the hat and the shirts. I think I'll do the shirt next, but I will have to let it dry before I even get to that part because it's going to involve overpainting on the parts that I painted in this case. And I don't mind overpainting on this part of the process, but once I start doing more of the details, I do have to pay a lot more attention. So I'm probably going to cut here and catch you in a couple, well, for me it'll be a couple of days, but for you it'll be a couple of seconds. Alright, so now that everything is dry here, we can start painting his shirt. And I'm going with a Mars orange color to differentiate it from the sand. It's a little bit of a darker orange, almost a brown, to get that differentiation. And I think we're going to end the shirt about right there. And I just need to get the coloration of everything. And I think it fits in pretty okay with the off turquoise color that I went with his body as well. I think once this is all done, it's going to look alright. Although maybe now that I'm looking at this on him, I might consider repainting it, but I'll have to see once it's fully done. Because I know his shirt is more of a lighter than this, so I may have to mix this with a lighter color, but I do want to see once it's all done. Actually, no, that's about right, I think, to give it the correct coloration. And then I just have to paint his hat, the rest of his eyes, and we'll be done. So end it right about here. I'm just eyeballing it. I don't really measure anything when it comes to painting, because we are just making a interpretation of a character from a show, just based on my interpretation of it. And then I'll also have to paint the tentacles too. That's right. Looks like I got a little bit of a smudge on my finger that transferred. I'll just repaint that later. Alright, so he has dried a little bit, and we're gonna do, I've decided to paint the hats. So I'm gonna just do a black tip here, which is the simplest part. And I just realized I'm zoomed out. And then the hat also has a bit of a black rim. And I'll just paint the line like so. And it will look pretty good once finished. And I'll just leave the white, as much of the white as I can, to incorporate it. And I may have to repaint this because I think part of there's like a blue line, I think, on the rim, or the visor portion of it. I don't think it's fully black. Double check. Get the black underneath as well. And I think for his little specks on his head, I'm just going to use black for that as well. Because I think that's supposed to represent him balding. And they're supposed to represent like hair follicles. So what we're going to do is just a couple of them here and there, kind of scattered about. I think we got it. And I think I might attempt to do a wrinkle, but I would need a different color for the turquoise. Alright, I realized that I have to do the anchor, which is also black as well. So we are going to try my best with my shaky hands to do this. And I may not even talk for... And the lines are much thinner in the actual cartoon, but I don't think I can get them any thinner. I may have to repaint over some dots. And I'm going to try to do the frown lines. I think I'm just going to do one and make his forehead big enough. That looks more like a unibrow. I'm painting over that. I don't like it. Unless I get a second one. Might paint over it. We'll see. I don't know if that looks good or not, though. I might have to do what I was originally thinking with a different color to give it a more depth and not the black. Yeah, it looks too much like a unibrow. Like a double unibrow. Maybe if I made it thinner, that might work. I'll experiment, but you won't see that. You'll just see the finished product, because that doesn't look good to me. Alright, and now we just need to do his eyes and his tentacles, and it will come together pretty nicely. And he's got like square pupils, like rectangular-ish. So it's very interesting. So I just need to try to keep them square and make them perfect. Well, not going to get perfect, but I'm going to try for it. And I think after I do this segment, I'm going to go eat. For today, I just messed up. I will have to repaint that. He does have big eyes, so I could just take advantage of that and see how it looks. I don't have the steadiest of hands. I'm trying. You may not see it on the camera, but I'm actually shaking my hands. Especially when I've been working for a little bit, because they become tired. Okay, I think I went overboard. I'll have to paint over it a little bit. Alright, but we'll move on to the tentacles. Alright, so we're just gonna paint tentacles here, because these Squidward tentacles. I'm doing a bluer turquoise to kind of get the inside of it, and then I'll paint the suction cups later to get the full effect of everything. I think I'm going to go with a darker blue for those, just to make a circle. And then I just have to do this side. We're just doing the inside of his palms, basically, just to make it simpler. I'm feeling pretty good about this project so far, and I hope that you guys are enjoying it. Alright, so I'm going to catch you guys in a little bit once we do the tentacle, well, the rest of the tentacles, the suction cups, because that is the final part here. Alright, so we are going to be now making the tentacles. Well, not the tentacle, but the rings, the suckers. Okay, I have to do this very carefully and line. I'm going to try to do 3 on each one. And I'm trying to maneuver this just so I can do it just right. Okay, I didn't quite get it. It's more of a circle. I was trying to do a ring. I may have to repaint this. This is harder than I thought it was going to be. I might just repaint it, honestly. Just to do a little bit on the edges. And I'm just going to make circles and then see if I can repaint it. That might be the better option because I don't think that's going to work with what I was doing before. Yeah, definitely going to have to repaint it. This is not working out the way I intended. Kind of worked on the foot, but it's difficult. Okay, I will repaint those, and then we'll be at the moment where you guys will see me do the final sealer on this. Alright, Squidward is dry, and he is ready. Alright, Squidward is ready. He's dry, and we are ready to coat him in a sealer. This is just glue and water, as always, until I'm able to upgrade to other things and try them. But I think this is going to turn out pretty good, and you're going to see him shortly in the finished product once I cut to that in a couple of seconds. Alright, Squidward is fully dried, and everything looks good. This actually turned out much better than I thought it was going to with one of my initial thoughts on this. There's a few mistakes I definitely made. And you can kind of see that with the legs. It looks a little bit lumpy in some places. But overall, I would say this is one of the best ones that I have made as far as a sculpture goes. And I think I can definitely improve upon it. Obviously, the neck here, he doesn't really have one. But it was essentially a problem with his head weighed down and collapsed his neck in the drawing process. But overall, I would say this is my best work with a sculpture. And I do hope that you guys have enjoyed watching this. And if you have, I would really appreciate it if you hit that like button and subscribe button. It really means a lot to me, and it really does help out with the algorithm. And if you want to see what other sculptures, I do have a playlist like this one where you can watch me sculpt other things like this. And you can also find the tools and stuff that I used in the description below as well with my Amazon affiliate links. But I really hope that you guys have enjoyed watching. And as always, hope you guys have a wonderful day.